And here we are, wrapping up another exciting week. It's the NFL, every week's exciting. Come on. We don't even know what's going to happen yet, even though I just said what's going to happen, I think. Dolphins at the New York Jets, another rivalry game. So we're ending week 6 with 2 rivalry games back to back. There we go. On national television in prime time. This has the look of a trap game. You have a rivalry game. You have a Jet team who, granted, has to win if they want to keep track in the wild card and somehow hold out hopes to catch the New England Patriots, even though they already dropped a game to said team. And at the same time, the Dolphins always seem to play the New York Jets well, no matter the circumstance. So this, to me, has the makings of a trap game. That being said, the Dolphins are not a good running team. I guess maybe they never were without the Wildcat. You know. At least, in recent history, Actually, wait a minute. They outside of Larry Zonker and Mercury Morris, Jim Kick, Bob Kuchenberg, etc. When have they had a running team, a running game? Of those two, when they made those 2 Super Bowl runs, when have they had a running game? I mean, I'm preaching to the choir if Dan Marino's hearing this. But wow. So if they're not winning Super Bowls and going 17-0, and they're not running the Wildcat, they can't run the football. Got it. Just learn something today. You learn something every day, folks. There you go. You heard it here first. On Whitaker's decisions. On Whitaker's decisions. Now back to the game, as I went on a little related tangent, because it is about the Dolphins. I'm sure Dolphins fans found that interesting yet annoying. Probably unnecessary, because who wants to hear their team can't do something, especially historically? In this ball game, though, the Dolphins are not going to be able to run the football outside of a broken play or a draw play by Matt Moore or who knows. The Dolphins are not going to be able to run the football in this game. They haven't been able to run the football this season. Daniel Thomas, the second-round rookie at Kansas State, who put up, is the only one averaging over 3.5 yards a carry of all the Dolphin running backs. But that's only because he had a huge game against the Texans. That's the only good game he's had, and he's been injured, so he's played limited games anyways. And the Jets are still a decent defensive team, and when Puha and Wilkerson is on the field, they're a good run defensive team. But they were playing the Patriots last week. As I said before, they can run on anybody, so take that with a grain of salt when grading the Jets. You look at the Dolphins' offense as well. They haven't been able to pass protect. They haven't been able to run block. Mark Colombo coming over Dallas has been a disaster. Mike Pouncey, as a lot of people thought, was a huge reach, and he's part of the problem this season. And Jake Long has been underachieving this season. Who's a great player, he's a Pro Bowler. He's their best player, the team's best player, franchise ball player in Miami. So they can't run the ball. They can't pass protect. They're playing a decent New York Jets team in New Jersey. The Jets have not been able to. Speaking of not being able to run the football this time, they can't run the football like they can't run the football like they used to. They're not a great running football. They're not a great running football team anymore. Sorry, Jets fans. It's true. Bannock is not there anymore. Damien Woody's not there anymore. And adding on to that, Nick Mangold, the best center in the world, has missed a couple games, so it's made the offensive line look even worse this season. But on a positive note, if the Jets want to run the football at all, use the Terminator, John Connor. One of my pet peeves watching NFL football, because enough college teams use fullbacks. Too many NFL teams don't use fullbacks when they have them. Now I can understand the Patriots, I can understand the Patriots, Tom Brady, they become, a single back spread type of team in recent years. You look at the Texans. They let Leach go for kind of that reason. They're a spread team. They run a zone blocking scheme, etc., etc. So that's fine. But when you have John Connor, the Ravens. I remember last season, and you have LaRon McClain. Use him. If you're a running team, if you want to be a running team, if you say you're running, use him. So. And if you watch the Jet game, when they had any success running the ball against the Patriots, it was with Connor. Now, they are not a great running team anymore. They need to open up the passing game. I think this weekend they will be able to do that and be able to set that in motion. Get Sanchez, whatever you want to call him up, Sanchez in rhythm. The Jets will be going against a team with a banged up Vontae Davis. And average safeties, to put it nicely. It's been musical chairs at free safety for the Miami Dolphins. Jabril Wilson, Chris Clemens, who's still there, and now Rashad Jones. So Sanchez, if given time, which I think he will, Cameron Wake has 3 sacks. The Dolphins have 6 as a team. Randy Starks, who gets their pass rush going from the inside, 0 sacks this season. And the other guy who does, Tony McDaniel, has been injured this season. He's supposed to be playing Monday night, but so is Nick Mangold. So if the Jets want to, I think they can get the passing game going. Keller, Holmes, even LT a little bit. So hopefully the Jets, like the Falcons, need to start throwing the football more and gearing up to become more of a passing team. I think the difference, I'll sum this up, I think the difference with the Jets and the Falcons, the Jets can revert back to becoming a power football team and ground and pound, all that. Again, Falcons cannot spend too much on Julio Jones. And the Jets, at least, they love the guy, but you can't put all your eggs in the Sanchez basket, so they can get some linemen in there, and they can move on from Green, maybe, and definitely move on from LT, because he is on the wrong side of 30. But in terms of this game, as I'm summing this show up, key matchup in this ball game, best cornerback, maybe the best player in the National Football League, Darrelle Revis, against a Pro Bowler in his own right, Brandon Marshall, who said he'll get himself kicked out of the game just to fire his team up. don't expect to see him in the second half. I'm just quoting that man. He has bipolar disorder, so I shouldn't even mind with that little joke as far as I did. Anyways, Dolphins lose this game on the road. Jets win it 23-17. Team matchup, Revis, Baby T.O. That should be fun. And I think the game will be a close game. There's a lot of Jets-Dolphins games. Oh, there you go, folks. There is week 6. There are my picks. There you go, folks. There are my picks for week 6. My overall record this season, 52-24. Just under 70%. Started out hot. 12-4 each week. Weeks 1 through 3, 75%. Cooled off in week 4 with an 8-8 record. 8-4 last week. So hopefully, with the byes this week, like with last, I can have a respectable record and get a little mojo going again. Alright, folks. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon. Go Niners!